Galaxy 666 by Pel Toro. Session 51.
Welcome back to Galaxy 666, your faithful guide Tug here. Our team is split up to search the alien ship, and having gone off last session with Oski on his brief affair, we are now treated to Bronitz. Bronit arrives at a metal mesh that has the appearance of being able to heal itself, as if alive. He believes the substance is metal and finds the idea of living metal horribly frightening. In our travels with Bronit, we have come to think of him as an experienced galactic traveler, a seasoned voyager of the spaceways, and an itinerant of hyperspace. And if we hadn't thought that, Pel has reiterated it for us, which is the best line of the session. One can never use too many epithets when trying to fill the page. Bronit also recalls that he has encountered things whose fundamental biomolecule has been based on silica rather than carbon. Up until the year 2010, life was thought to require 6 basic building blocks: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. All life, from the blue whale to the smallest bacteria, is built from these elements. In 2010, Felisa Wolf-Simon, a NASA biochemist, discovered a life form that, while not breaking the mold, modified it. In Mono Lake, in California, she identified a bacterium that had replaced phosphorus with arsenic. This was the first instance of the standard 6-element requirement being broken, and opened the door to other potential forms of life based on different elemental makeup. Our 6 standard building blocks are very similar in nature, and are 6 of the 7 elements classified as non-metals. The odd one out is selenium. Arsenic is in a different category, but on the periodic table sits right next to selenium and below phosphorus. Arsenic is classified as a metalloid, which is a sort of halfway element between metals and nonmetals. Another element possessing a similar relationship of proximity with the nonmetal life-forming group is silicon. Bronit notes that he has come into contact with silicon-based life forms before, though not arsenic-based ones, and this may be Pel's tip of the hat to the long science fiction tradition of having silicon replace the chemical carbon in the basic 6. Silicon creatures pop up in everything from the Trolls in Terry Pratchett's Discworld series to the ecosystem in Alan Dean Foster's novel Sentenced to Prism. Even the noted scientist, teacher, and evangelist for space Carl Sagan regarded silicon and germanium as conceivable alternatives to carbon. Carbon, however, is much more capable than silicon in forming chemical compounds, which may be the reason that it is the basis of life, and not silicon. We have another glimpse into Pel's constant, unshakable, insufferable requirement to link references back to the 20th century. This time he references fine gauzes which had covered meat safes on faraway Earth in the 20th century, and the pea shingle sieve. Why is there nothing ever referenced from any other century, and so few references to any other planet, the Matchies being a notable exception? Is it possible that cloth meshing and sieves would have become but a faded memory in the far distant future? Do we still not have fabrics of silk, such as were created thousands of years ago? Use pots and piping the same as used thousands of years ago? Do we not still spit meat, grow rice on terraces, and dig wells? Pel makes an assumption of how remotely different the future will be, and certainly a person from ancient Babylon would find our world beyond strange and complex. But when that person would speak of a dog, brewing beer, irrigating a field, we would know what they were talking about. It is far more likely Bronit and his clan of miscreants would be using words unintelligible to us than it is for us to use words and refer to things that only historians of the far distant future would understand. Bronit's comments on the reconstruction of the sponge are as true as they are unnecessary. It is not hard to imagine a gelatinous substance going through a fine mesh, and as this is a science fiction piece, Pel need only say that this could happen because they were aliens, for us to believe in the possibility. We get more of the feeling that Pel is trying to prove something to us, so he is lining up evidence to support his case. We also get the feeling that given all the time we are spending on this mesh of living metal, it will form some critical part of the storyline in the future. However, as seasoned travelers of Galaxy 666, we also know that Pel does not plan ahead like that, and a key point elaborated on, a characteristic highlighted, is usually just to fill space. How much space still remains? Let us continue next week with Bronit on his walk through
Galaxy 666.
Here ends Session 51.